relationship at all. That was the last thing on my mind. So even when we exchange Instagram, we didn't even exchange numbers. So this is December. I say, you know what? Let me not hit her up until February 16th, so there's no confusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Try to avoid Valentine's Day altogether. Just
February 15th or 16th, I hit her. Hey, what's up? She asked me straight up, did you hit me up? Right after Valentine's Day on purpose? I'm like, how did you know?
you knew the deal right away.
Well, isn't this something?
I'm like, wow, you're a psychic.
Yeah.
So that's how we met.
That's how we met. Yeah, right when
This the stuff of fairy tales and majesty, magically. Like I pulled you out of hat, pull you out of bag from out of mag if you want that. Pull up in the slab and pull off with you in my lap. Top down.
Hey, welcome to Travel Tuesday Happy Hour, where we interview dope people doing dope things from around the world. And as you can see, I have a beautiful co-host. Can you tell us who you are? And
I'm your fiance.
Oh my God. Say it again.
I'm your fiance.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Jackie, everyone. I am the co-host of the season 3, the 3rd season of Travel Tuesdays, which is couples goals and learning about the couples that travel, kind of like we do.
Yep. And we have an amazing guest today, or guests today. Tell us who you are, and we have a returning guest, Ooj. So if for those that didn't catch last 2 seasons ago, tell us who you both are and what do you guys do?
I'll let you go for it, Bo.
Oh, really? Okay. Another fiance here. But yes, no, I'm Amber. I work in corporate healthcare, so I work in contracts. I work from home, so that's one reason I get to Zoom around the world quite often. So especially with Cliff. But yeah, I love to travel, love to eat, love to play, love to have fun, love to spend money, the usual things.
I'm Cliff. The people who love me call me Ooj. I'm an entrepreneur, also a travelpreneur. I just enjoy being exposed to new culture, new settings, new time zones, new foods, of course. I'm a big dude, so I love to eat. Yeah, man, I'm glad to be here in this season 3. I'm excited. Glad to be back.
Yes.
Definitely glad to have you back. Glad to have both of you. So, how'd you guys start? How'd you guys meet?
How'd you meet? Yeah.
I want to hear both sides of the story now. There's always 2 sides of the story.
Cliff likes to say that I walked right through his door. You know how like girls who never go out, I know you know this, Jackie, it's like you have to go outside to meet a man. It's not like unless he comes in and there's a home invasion, like you have to go outside. Well, what ended up happening for Cliff was that I went to a party here in Miami when I first moved back with some of my old friends from college. One of them being Cindino, one of his frat brothers, and then my good friend Tova. And we all went out, and after this day party, they were trying to convince me to go to a kickback. And my one prerequisite was, is there food? Because I was starving after the party and I did not want to go anywhere. I was like, is there food there? Okay, we can go. So we went, and it just happened to be at Cliff's house. So I walked right on through his door and accosted him for chicken and fussed with him a bit because he didn't have any food left when I got there. And yeah, that's how we met initially. Yeah.
So the little details of how we met, I had a groove at my house, fight party. A lot of people showed up, but I've been grilling and making this chicken called the Miami Bros cracked chicken for the last 15, 16 years. That's famous. So by the time they got there, all the chicken was gone. But it was weird, because they got there and they was asking for food, but she was asking in such a, if you ever met Amber, she's like real feel good type of person. She's asking in such a way. I'm like, man, I think I'm gonna have to cook my meal prep for this girl because it's like she's asking for food. She's late, but she's asking it so nice. So I'm like, I got some stir fry and chicken breast I can cook for y'all. That's cool. They're like, oh yeah, cool. So I whipped something up real quick. They probably thought, hey, this is about to be crazy because I did it quick. and then they terrorize the food.
Yeah, it was delicious.
You know, they terrorize the food. Mind you, I moved back to Miami from Atlanta. I'm from Miami. I moved back to Miami from Atlanta, but I figured, the rest of my life, I was just gonna gallivant around the world and be an international playboy. Needless to say, I was not looking for a relationship at all. That was the last thing on my mind. So even when we exchanged Instagram, we didn't even exchange numbers.
Yeah.
So this is December. I said, you know what? Let me not hit her up until February 16th, so there's no confusion.
Yeah, exactly.
I did avoid Valentine's Day altogether. Just
February 15th or 16th, I hit her. Hey, what's up?
That's a
she
fact.
asked me straight up, did you hit me up right after Valentine's Day on purpose? I'm like, how did you know?
you knew the deal right away.
Like, well, isn't this something?
I'm like, wow, you're a psychic.
Yeah.
So that's how we met.
That's how we met. Yeah. Right when I moved, and he had just moved, actually, I didn't know that. But it was the weekend I moved here. So I actually wasn't looking to date. I was looking to get furniture and figure out, just getting back to Miami and stuff. So he was the first person every time we were like, how's dating in Miami? I'm like, I don't know. I walked in, this guy snagged me off the market and I never dated.
Lucky you. You didn't have to go through all the dating stuff.
Yeah.
So what was your first trip together?
Oh, our first trip was to the Caymans, the Cayman Islands. And that was we met in February, and soon after we started talking about going on a trip, but our timing didn't work out until around our birthdays that year. And both of us, our birthdays are in August. They're 6 days apart, the 22nd and the 28th. And so we went to the Cayman Islands for that trip. That was our first trip.
Yeah, because we met and started like going out, but I was on a whirlwind year that year. That year we met, I was gone. I was in Southeast Asia for 3 weeks. Year. And then I think I went to Iceland in the summer. And then after Iceland, I went to Cuba. So it was kind of crazy, but she was easygoing. She wasn't tripping on my travel. She was just trying to,
Like, when are we going to go on a trip? I'm desperate to go on a trip. We both love to travel, but he was like already like, he still is like that. But it's a little easier now.
So we picked Cayman. And that was was that your first time going to Cayman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was my first time going to Cayman as well. And we stayed at the Kempton Seafire.
It was so nice.
Diamond rated hotel. So it's like, when you're watching the Disney movies with the Disney princess, it's like the people with brown eyes is very brown. The people with blue eyes is very blue with the star. It's like the hotel manager, he found out that I do group travel. He came out and he was really taking care of us. Wow. But he was like a Disney movie character because he had the twinkle. Like, whoa, this guy's the real
deal. He saw cha-ching and was like, I'm there.
Exactly. Right. It was like ding, ding, ding. It was so nice. And we started on a high note because that was like such a nice hotel. It was such a nice trip. It was very easy. So I think for a first trip as a couple, the Caymans is like, it's like 4 things to do. We rented a car, drank too much.
Bought a big bottle of whiskey. You drink whiskey too? Oh, yeah. So we over there.
We walked the whole island. It felt like we drove the whole island in a day. It's like, what else did we do? So we did everything you could do.
I wasn't annoying to her. She wasn't annoying to me. I'm like,
what she always said.
That's clutch.
Mm-hmm.
But it was my first time traveling with a woman.
Oh.
With a woman, period. Not just your time traveling together. This was your first time traveling as a couple?
Traveling with a woman I'm dating.
That you're dating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this was our first time as a couple. And I guess that's the same. I didn't even think about that.
But we were still at the couple stage.
Yeah, we were dating.
It was dating.
Yeah, we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. We were just dating. So
that's a big step for just dating. You flew her out to the Caymans or dating?
Wait a minute. Let's
set the bar high there, buddy.
We expensed it in the not get flown out.
That's true.
We have stories of that, other stories of that. But that was a turn on for me. She could afford her own trip. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So-
I definitely could, thankfully, which, that's always good when you're dating. You want to pay so you can get in, you can get out. Because if it doesn't go well, you don't want to be locked into something.
You don't feel obligated. If you pay for yourself, you don't feel obligated to stay.
Exactly.
I get you, Amber. I got that.
Exactly. No. It was wonderful.
So what did the logistics to setting this up end up? Is it like, hey, you've been here, now let's go? Or
yeah.
plan this all out?
The first step. It's like, have you been where do you want to go? Where do we want to go? What's warm?
I'm gonna tell you guys a thing though. To be honest with you, that was probably our most planned trip.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think that was our most planned trips, because all of our other trips, except your sister's birthday in Jamaica, they've been pretty much shotgun trips.
Yeah, but picking the place, we do check in on the place.
Yeah.
Once we get there, we kind of roll with
because it's funny enough, that place, we went there. It was like right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
We wanted to organize a group trip for couples.
Yeah, we would love to do that.
Yeah, so we had a good time. We got drunk. We killed a 1.75 liter bottle of whiskey.
Which I can't do now. I don't know what happened between then and now, but Lord.
She hit that Jesus here. It was all over.
But
I'm gonna tell her age, but she looked good for her. When you look good for your age, it's okay to say it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the point where I care yet, so that's a good thing. But no. So typically, all we were saying was we just negotiate the place, and it's really just, have you been there? Have you not been there? We like to go to new places together. So. Yeah, that's really it. Everything else is kind of, if you have something special you want to see, but we both like to be surprised and do freestyle travel. Like we like to just show up and see what's there when we're there, which is kind of a random way to do stuff, but it works out. It's fun.
So who's the pickier person when it comes to like destination, places to stay?
I like nice places, but she's just naturally pickier. I know if I travel by myself, my trip will automatically be cheaper versus,
So Amber, let me ask you this question. I'm not sure if you watched our initial interview, right? So our initial interview, my man here ran with the Bulls and stayed in the trailer. Now, would you have done the running with the Bulls and the trailer situation?
Hey, listen, so I'm gonna tell you how that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I was headed to Croatia, and I saw I had a layover in Spain. Well, I saw a potential layover in Spain, and since I was a kid, I've been watching the Dos Equis commercials.
Yes.
The most interesting man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw one of them. He ran with the Bulls. I'm like, I want to run with the Bulls. That's where the inspiration came from.
Oh my goodness.
Dos Equis guy.
Right before a very expensive week-long trip. Gotcha.
That's all, right? No, that was so scary. And then him calling me from that trailer, I'm like, where are you? What is going on?
So it's a massive event. It's pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's a massive event. There's no hotels anywhere. And I see this thing on Airbnb, the wagon, but it has good reviews. I'm like, man, I had been arguing with one of my travel buddies about being a backpacker. Because I didn't really know what a backpacker was, to be honest with you. I thought a backpacker was someone who's traveling throughout country hopping. I thought that was the same thing. I didn't know about the hostel living. I know hostels existed, but it was in the back of my mind. I saw the hostel movie and stuff like that. So it was a mix of me proving that I was a backpacker.
Yeah.
And it looking like an adventure, because I love adventure. And
He's not a backpacker.
Yeah, I'm not a backpacker.
I'm thankful.
Yeah, so F it, I'm gonna stay in the wagon. But it was a great experience. I met some really dope people. And to be honest with you, if I organize a group trip to go around with the Bulls, we'll stay in a hotel. But if I go again, let's say if I'm not with her, I would stay in the wagon again. That's how much I love the experience.
Gotcha.
Amber, you wouldn't be down for the on the run experience, the motel with the ceiling fan?
I'm retired from running, but
yeah, he was forced into retirement at an early age from running with the Bulls. When he came back, I was like, done. Check. That's it for that. We're done with that.
Just
So,
on the
and the
wagon and done.
I don't think the wagon is for me. He is right. I'm a little bit more picky when it comes to hotels. You know, my high-low, the low isn't maybe hostel. I think we do high-low on our trips because we like high highs, like, you know, St. Regis really like luxury hotels. So we try to mix it in with a Hilton, a Hyatt Place or something like that, you know, on and off, you know, wherever we are. But yeah, I'm a lot pickier.
And we have a bad habit of shotgunning the situation, meaning, let's say we'll travel to some place and not book nothing. And pull up to the hotel and book right then and there. Yeah, so the highs are higher than they need to be, and the lows are probably normal. Yeah, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So with the way y'all travel, do you leverage the point system to kind of like finagle wherever you end up? Like, oh, I'm a Diamond Rewards member, just get me my diamond type of situation, or you don't really stay with a selective hotel?
Ember is starting to do that.
I'm starting to get with the points.
I need to do that, but what the reason why I haven't been doing that, because for me every trip is a business trip because I'm always looking for an idea. Yeah. Now I believe I can use my because my businesses.
You have the travel. He's a travel agent, right? Even though he doesn't really function in that capacity, so you have those words associated with that.
From an accounting standpoint, so my business don't have credit cards, just debit cards. I have the credit cards. So I just never explored the option of using my personal credit card and reimbursing it with my business. So I just use my business so it could make it easy for my accounting and my taxes. Yeah. Yep. But it is something I need to look into and discuss with my CPA. To really leverage.
We've been talking about it a lot now.
Because think about if all your trips are business related, right? And you know, and once again, this can go from a conversation about financial literacy and points and all of that. But think about how much you've traveled just within the last year alone, right? All the places you've been, the airlines you've been on, you know, taking advantage of even if you had a points card, right? The points card, based on where you both traveled alone, could literally fund your next set of trips.
Yeah, so that's the case now. I do book tickets with my cards because I use Chase Sapphire, the Amex Platinum. You know,
we're not sponsoring this, so you know we don't.
Oh, okay, no,
I'm just messing around.
I don't have any of those things. But yeah. So I use those, but I usually end up using them for like little quick domestic trips if something comes up, and you know, so I sort of but I haven't gotten that skill of really like manipulating the points enough for now. My goal is just upgrading to first class international. So that's what I'm focused on. Okay. So that's what I tell Cliff all the time. Like, we need to be focused on this. Okay. So yeah, that's what we're focused on. But I feel like there's still like better ways to use the points that we haven't yet like gotten into the groove with. Yeah. And Cliff travels, he's so spontaneous. Now I thought I was pretty spontaneous among my friends. But now being with Cliff, I'm like, okay, he's like, oh yeah, I have to do this. What do you think in a month you want to go here? Our Greece trip was a month away. That wasn't his fault. Peru was planned. Yeah, this year we did a lot of traveling, but a lot of times it's maybe like a month. And then Cliff's like, oh, next month. I'm like.
So she mentioned Peru. So the way Peru happened is that Peru was her Christmas gift. So the gift was a box with a paper with an airplane on it saying we're taking off top secret flight. So we get to Peru. So I ended up proposing in Peru.
Yeah.
Nice. So
that was our proposal trip. It was all my dreams all in one. Yeah. It was like, to be flued out.
So
and then to be removed.
We were still being spontaneous, pulling up to hotels. Even the flight to Cusco, we decided the night before, tomorrow you want to leave and go to Cusco tomorrow? All right, cool, let's do it. Boom. So we went to Cusco. When we came back to Cusco, you want to drive to Huacachina? Boom, let's get the rental car again. 5-hour road trip. So, that style of traveling to me, it's not for the faint of heart. It does run a little bit more expensive, but it just makes, to me, it allows you to fully enjoy the trip to where you don't feel like, man, we gotta leave early.
Sticking to an itinerary, right? You feel like, okay, now we're tired. We're gonna sleep. We're not making it to. It was something we were supposed to do in Peru. It was Rainbow Mountain. And we had bought all the tour and everything the day before. And we did Machu Picchu and the proposal and everything. And we even had an appointment with a shaman to get the drink and stuff. We like, step, our flight is early. We was about to miss our flight. We were like so done by the time we took the train. We were on the train was late. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. But the next morning we're like, we're not making it to the mountain. We're done. The shaman was hitting me up. He's like, yo, what's up? We're like, we're dead. We're sleeping.
We're not doing it.
It was like so intense and amazing. But yeah, we were done. So I think you have to, as a couple, you want to kind of get an idea of how you travel together, or how each person travels, and like see if you can sort of roll with it, or or not.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that Peru was your most memorable trip together thus far?
Yeah, for sure. Peru.
Yeah, Peru?
Yeah. That was, for obvious reasons.
Yes, because it was a life event.
Yeah.
For both of us. I don't know how many times she's been proposed to, but it was my it was my first time proposing. And I proposed with a Sharpie.
Yes.
Because the research I did do is said, hey, Lima is kind of wild. Don't bring anything expensive.
Yeah.
And, and the ring was attention causing. And I didn't want to get the ring and then be like, damn. The ring is gone. So I had a Sharpie. So we was in Cusco on top of Machu Picchu, and she was taking in the scene, recording the scene. And then while she had her back turned, I got down on one knee. And when she turned around, she started backing up. I'm like, hey, there's a drop behind you. Come
You might not want to do that.
Don't do it that way. Come back.
Yes.
And then I proposed, and she said yes, and I had the ring around her finger. And she was still okay with it. I'm like, okay, cool. You deserve the ring, for real.
Oh, that's so.
But yeah, I would say that was the most memorable one.
Yeah,
we've had other, fun trips.
Yeah, we did. I really enjoyed Greece.
Oh, Greece was so good. It's like I miss it every time I talk about it. It was so nice. We just recently went to Greece about a month ago. That was in October. Last month. That feels like far, but it's like that was just last month. Yeah, beginning of October, and it was gorgeous. We went to Santorini and Athens.
Wait, what about you guys? What was the most memorable trip for you guys?
The interviewers are interviewing.
I'm really interested.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? The most memorable is Haiti.
The most memorable is Haiti, for sure.
The most memorable is Haiti. For those that's been, you know why.
Yes.
There's one part of it where I had to keep her in the dark because she was like, what are they saying?
He was like, I don't know.
They're just asking
Creole. You know what they're saying.
Just asking for directions.
You know what they're saying.
Yes. That was this year is crazy. I feel like we traveled a lot this year. I didn't think about it until we were talking to you guys and filling out everything. I was like, oh wow, we went a lot of places this year, which is cool, but it's crazy. I'm like, oh yeah, Haiti was this year.
So give us your top 3 traveling as a couple. The top 3 places that you've been.
So Peru was a lot of fun. I think couples can have fun there. Greece was amazing. It was so romantic. It was just drop dead beautiful. Like
same so far.
Beautiful. And then international or anywhere.
Anywhere.
I love when we went to Utah. We went on a road trip.
Okay,
That's what I was gonna say too. I love that trip. It was so fun. We went last year for our birthdays. And we did Utah and Arizona, and we started in Vegas.
We got to Vegas, rented a car, and road trip.
Through the national park.
Went to the national park, of course. We picked up a cooler.
Yeah.
Hella tequila.
Yeah.
Hella chaser.
Yeah.
You know,
it was so fun. We went to and it was almost like lots of champagne. But it was almost like on TV when you see people go on road trips. It was like it felt like we had a paper map. You know, like it was like we did it. You know, we have iPhones, phones, but you know, like it was like we were just kind of now that one I did do some planning because I was planning that trip, so it was a planned trip.
Great planning.
But it was
But we still pulled up on the hotels, which is, you know.
Yeah.
So what made you choose Utah?
So we went to Park City, Utah. Mm-hmm. We went to Salt Lake City. And we went to the Salt Flats. Yeah, which was
that was a dope experience.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Because when you drive out to the Salt Flats,
there's nothing out there. It's like 2 hours.
If you don't have like the GPS or the location drop, like let's say you don't have your phone, you may get lost in there for a while.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Because it's beautiful. It's like it's almost like you're riding on like. It just looks like snow, but it was August. It wasn't snow. It looks like snow, but it's salt there, and it goes on and on and on, like as far as your eye can see.
I did something nasty. I tasted it.
Which I asked him. I go, should we taste it? And he goes, no. And then I turn around. And
it's salt.
He's like, it is salt because it's insane when you see it. It's unbelievable. It's like, could this really all be salt? And it was gorgeous. It's nothing like you. It's just like endless. Like when you see something that it just goes on and on and on as far as you can see. It actually went from really cool to a little creepy as we were leaving. Then I'm a spooky person, so we were leaving and a cloud came over. But because it's so reflective, like everything went dark.
This dark shadow.
In seconds, it was like bright light. I'm driving. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And then the cloud comes over and everything goes dark. It felt like it's like you're on a different planet.
I'm in the car like, so you're gonna drive a screen. That big one. Like,
you can't do both. You can't do both.
Yes. And then taking time when you need it. So there were times where it's like, okay, we did a lot of road tripping. Like this might be quiet time. Just quiet time together, you know?
Yeah.
So I think still on trips when you're a couple, it's important, you know, you still give yourself a little time if you need a little time, you know?
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, so that was so fun. Like it was just so fun. Road tripping in that area is so fun. The food is so good. The hotels are like, so Utah was like, we were shocked. Everywhere we went,
Utah had culture.
What? The
food was good. Yes.
Like even the little like they have their own version of like a Chipotle and stuff. And everywhere we went, like on the sides of the road, I guess because of that middle of I don't know suburban middle of nowhere vibe. Like you'll pass like an ice cream creamery, you know, and we'll like pull over and then go have ice cream, and they have like all this fresh ice cream and stuff. It was so fun.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We felt like everywhere we went, it was about to be, because you know, you mentioned traveling while Black offline.
Yeah.
We felt like it was gonna be racist, but it wasn't.
Because we're like Utah.
Because some areas, it's in the middle of nowhere, it gives you a Mississippi vibe.
Yeah.
And you get in there, you're like, oh.
Okay.
It's cool.
Nowhere vibes. It was
but you know, as Black traveler, we think like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. And then that's kind of where I was gonna go next, right? Is like, you know, was there a vibe of, are these people racist or what might have you, as opposed to when you're traveling around the rest of the world, right? Like you guys are literally traveling the world, right? And your experiences in the United States versus your unique experiences overseas, like how different are there? But like, and I'm gonna ask this in a different way, right? Amber individually traveling, Cliff individually traveling, and do you guys see the difference when you guys travel together?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me as a woman too, traveling with Cliff, it allows me to have some escapism, right? I don't have to be like so crazy alert, and I do have to be, but you know, it creates a little bit more relaxation in terms of being out in certain spaces or places, even in terms of interactions where I might feel like it could be racial and stuff. I guess traveling in a group or for a woman traveling with a male at night and different things, it creates a different sort of way that you can relax, I think, in certain scenarios. So in that way, it is different. In terms of places around, I feel like it's a mixed bag for me. Like there's been places I've gone and expected to experience racism and I didn't. And then there's been places where I've gone and I felt like I don't know if this is racism, an eerie feeling or something's off here, you know? So yeah, that would be my
for me, a place that I recall distinctively feeling like there was some kind of racism was Madrid.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Because I remember, and I experienced it firstly in the airport. I'm very good at detecting stuff like that, and I'm not gonna, and I don't make it up. Meaning, you know, sometimes I feel like maybe some people feel everything is racist. No. I really, because I dissect things. I dissect the situation. I dissect the scenario. I pay attention. So I paid attention to the security guard. This family came up to him, smiles, very helpful, walked a little bit with him with their directions, all of that. Now, I know that sometimes Americans do get a bad rep because they expect people to speak the language. However, I speak a little Spanish. So I went and I asked them directions in Spanish. And my Spanish is okay. You'll understand it. Guy was like, he told me the direction, but very reluctantly. Clearly he understood me. Yeah. And I felt that initial sprinkle of racism. If he was a civilian, he would have probably been full-fledged racist because he was working, so he couldn't be his natural self. But Madrid had that feeling of that racist
agree.
Feeling.
Yeah, I met him about a weekend or a couple of days into his trip to Madrid. And I've had that experience actually in Spain before. And I hate to give Spain a bad rap, but I went to Mallorca. It's an island off of Spain. Has a lot of European tourists there. And I went with a girlfriend. And it was like the zoo effect, like when you go places and it's like a spectacle. Like it was so bizarre. I'm like, this is Spain. I wouldn't really, I don't know. Right. You've seen you have TVs here. It's not like it's not like, I went to Thailand and although it was a little bit of a spectacle, it was like warm. It wasn't like, it was oh my God, we've never seen this before. This is, more pleasant and sweet. And the kids were just kind of like oohing and on, but like in a sweet way where it would seem more innocent. And I think in Spain and Mallorca, it felt very like tense, like in certain restaurants, like, people going by the windows and like, it's like, oh man.
I actually just remember one more thing that happened to me in London. I was in London being looking like a tourist, walking around the street, and this old white couple, the wife said, "Hey, can you take a picture of us?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I'm like, "Sure." And the husband snatches the phone from her. He's like, "No." I'm like, whatever, old dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I saw it. I knew exactly what it was. It wasn't, clearly the wife was not, of that mindset. Yeah. Clearly he was. And I was doing them a favor anyway, so I really don't like taking pictures for strangers. I take selfies. When I travel, I don't like random people taking pictures of me anyway, but I was just going to do it. But either way, he saved me some time and effort. But I definitely, dude was racist. And it was what it was. And I'm like, all right, cool. But as far as, experiencing racism to where I felt like my life was in danger or anything like that, I can't say that I've experienced that yet. I don't want to say yet, but I don't think I've experienced that. But
do you find yourself being treated different when with Amber? Because the walk across the street effect, walking by yourself versus walking with Amber, is it they're still walking across the street, or they're just kind of walking past you but on Amber's side?
To be honest with you, I pay attention to these things. Again, I do find myself being treated differently in a good way. Whether I'm in the States though, or whether I'm abroad, when I'm with Ember, I do notice little things. I do notice people being even nicer when I'm with Ember. And it's, it's the wifey effect, I call it, or the Ember effect.
Don't coin that, the wifey effect.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. It does seem to be. He's mentioned it before. So I think people, in general, I think there's something people respect men with wives or partners.
No, she's still alive. They're like, oh, she's still alive. There's no way
in business, I think people just, I don't know if it's something, but it seems that way.
Yeah,
so I
business
think
people
it takes up in every aspect of things.
And do business with you more when you're married. And I notice it in many different aspects of life, including travel, for sure.
So Amber, you're still with this guy post-pandemic, like, right? So
you guys made it. Congratulations.
Woo, right? It seemed like a lot of people didn't make it. So we really liked each other. So that was like crazy. We're always together. How is this working?
So how are you guys adjusting to the new normal, right? Like you guys are traveling as much as you were prior to, but I know for a lot of people, there were some adjustments for the new normal, like the constant testing, with different airlines having different seating arrangements. How are you guys adjusting with your travel lives today?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think in the beginning it was a rough adjustment. It wasn't stopping anything in terms of us, but it was causing a lot of delays. We missed one of our flight to Peru because of the paperwork, which had a lot to do with the COVID paperwork. A lot of the paperwork to other countries is in a different language, and they don't have the air people aren't always equipped, to explain what the country wants you to fill out or the QR code that, so it can be in the beginning, especially. I wasn't on par with like all of the paperwork and stuff. We were still sort of moving in the same way we used to, but then getting caught up at the airport or trying to leave the country. And
this is going to be a shameless plug, but it's very much part of the story, right? Mm-hmm. So about 2 years ago, I started a group on Facebook called Black World Travelers. If you're not in it, you need to be in it. It has 22,000 members. If you answer the questions, you'll get out of the 2,000 people waiting list trying to get in because they didn't answer the questions. But anyways, I posted that, hey, I'm going to Peru soon. Anything you recommend? This person that's part of the group hits me up like, hey, I saw you coming to Peru. When are you coming? I'm like, oh, I'm coming on Monday. I'm coming on Monday.
The 4th.
So she's like, hey, as of Monday, if you come to Peru on Monday, you'll be forced into a 14-day quarantine. However, if you make it here before then, you're good.
Yeah.
So can you imagine? Because
we had a flight where,
with that shotgun mentality and everything like that, we would have been stuck. And the group really, granted, we missed the flight on Friday.
We missed the Friday flight and then planned for Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
And then with that intel, that made us get there on Saturday.
So we had to cancel that flight. It was such a fiasco. We had to cancel that flight on Monday and try to recoup our funds for that one. In the meantime, we ended up flying 2 separate flights to get there on the 3rd because it was Saturday when this happened. So Friday we missed the flight. We rebooked for Monday because they didn't have Saturday flights with the airline we took.
Yeah.
Saturday he wrote into the group and he was like, yo, somebody's saying XYZ about the quarantine. We Googled it, looked on their embassy, and they had literally just changed.
Like it was a new thing.
It just had appeared and we didn't have to think about it before because we were supposed to be there already. Right. So it was like complete chaos. And then we ended up leaving and getting there on that Sunday. Yeah. You close to midnight or me close to midnight. I don't remember, but it was a very close call. And we made it right before the quarantine.
Oh, I got there first and I picked you up. Yeah. But
so the COVID stuff is like, check the embassy, get your test and get them on time because we've had close calls with the time. Because that incident actually threw off our timing. We had went back and got a new COVID test. I think it was supposed to show up between
all out
24 and 48 hours. And we were like, when we switched this from Monday to Sunday, it was just like, I hope we have everything we need.
So you're actually jumping into where I actually want to go next is like tips, because as travelpreneurs, as you put it, right? Like, what are some tips now, like during this time of forever changing lenient / strict / lenient again? Like, what's your tips now for people that are kind of moving as fast as you guys do?
And I secretly, Amber, want you to make sure you input your packing tips, because I've been watching you on the past few trips where you give your stories about what you're packing and books and all of that.
Fun.
So
yeah,
I want
the favorite part
to know that they can research you and look
good. The woman is good.
No, that's a great question. One, get excited. Like, I think it's just be excited about the trip. Like, sometimes with work and everything, first, there's stress, there's other things going into. So first get excited and then relax and check the websites. The first thing you want to do, at least when you plan the trip, you check the embassy, the US embassy, and then that's, that country that you're going to. So you really get all of the information of what's required, and then keep note of it. And then a few days before the trip, 2 days before the trip, check it again, right? So you really want to be as informed as possible about the COVID regulations and make sure that you have, and partner, right? Because nobody can think of everything. So it'll be times I forget about one thing, like, getting the test, leaving the country, right? And Cliff was like, oh, shoot, we have to get the test. And also rely on your hotels somewhat. You can definitely save a lot of time and energy by coordinating with your hotel when you get there and saying, hey, this is the country I'm coming from. This is what I need. Do you have anyone that can do XYZ for me? Do you have a car service for this? The hotels really, if you're staying, especially at, the standard big hotels, they definitely have things in place to help you that you have access to. So I would definitely say to do that in terms of just COVID and all of those sort of preps for that. Anything else on the COVID?
Yeah, just now I was actually trying to quickly find this app I use. Maybe you guys can find it. It's an app that literally tells you what countries require certain visas, what country you can get a visa on arrival, what country you can get a visa online. So it's, for example, some tips I had, I know December is a big month for people visiting Nigeria, Ghana, and those countries.
Yeah.
I know Ghana, the embassies in the States can be a headache. The only one that was a smooth process was Houston, and it's closed down. So if you're doing it in the States, they expect you to actually mail your passport off to them. And I've had several individuals where the embassies have lost their passports. So you gotta keep that in mind. But I found a workaround to where you can get a visa on arrival in Ghana, which is a new option that I didn't know existed. Some countries require certain vaccines to have been taken already, like, again, Ghana. I call Ghana the hardest African country to get to. Probably the hardest country to get to.
You remember, it took me like 6 tries.
Shot, the malaria pill.
They kept denying you for no reason.
They kept denying me for no reason. And then we had the MVP shiz grabbing everybody's visas and passports from the DC embassy.
Crazy.
So, it was wild.
It was wild. 2019 into 20 was a wild year.
Yeah. So, keeping that in mind.
What type of COVID test you take is sometimes important. So just reading the fine print.
For example, I know France right now is requiring vaccines. As a travel entrepreneur, I knew it was going to head to that. I'm personally vaccinated.
Yeah, we're both vaccinated.
And the people who don't want to get vaccinated for their personal reason, I don't have a conversation, or, I respect everybody's choices, but I just know that, if you're trying to get out of here, it does make things easier, because we noticed it. And
take pictures. This is one thing I did not do that it kept happening, where it'd be like, do you have a picture? take pictures of your important documents, your vaccine card, take pictures of your passport, take pictures of your driver's license, because it's been times where like it's in the bottom of my bag, but then you get that like anxious feeling. Somebody's like, where's your vaccine card? It happened to us in Greece. And I'm like, it's here somewhere. Like the luggage and all the stuff.
Oh yeah. If you're traveling in Europe, Ryanair is like worse than Spirit. if you like us,
read the fine print.
If you book like the day of, Ryanair have a 48-hour check-in policy. So if you didn't check in 48 hours, you have to pay 100 euros at the gate,
at the check-in desk. So we booked a flight like 4 hours before Classic to go to Ibiza from Madrid. And we like didn't sleep, we were up late and then like, we can go in 2, 3 hours, 4 hours. And then we got to the airport after all of that. And then they're like, if you didn't check in.
The lady hit me with we bought it 4 hours ago, so it was impossible.
The line is so long, they're so popular that you could tell the lady was like, you want it or no? So yeah, but what else? Oh, packing. Check the weather, check it again, check it one more time to make sure it's not raining, because that's the hardest thing to figure out. But pack and get excited, shop,
And for the fellas, pack a lot of underwear, socks, and shop a little.
Yeah.
Take a note from a page from the ladies. Shop a little.
Mm-hmm. You gotta get you some stuff to get you in the mood, and you're packing, you're trying on everything, and then you because if you kind of have an idea of what you're wearing when you get there, it eliminates that you can't be putting stuff together.
I went to a wedding with just the jacket I was gonna wear. I was like, everything else I'm gonna find it there, and I did.
It was a miracle, okay? Let me tell you. Okay.
That is true. Listen, I'm 6'1", 250 50 pounds. So in Europe, the clothes sizing, as they call it, athletic build, as they call it, or big belly wood boy, you may not find your size, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah, plus sizes in Europe is gonna be the most difficult thing to find, especially if you're trying to go last minute as well.
Yeah.
Oh man. So tell us where we could find you guys, how people can follow your journey, your packing journey, right? Your couples goals journey.
Yeah. Okay. My handle is XOXOLoveAmber. So, it sounds like how it's spelled traditionally. So XOXOLOVEAMBER.
I don't know what all the XOs are about.
That's like hugs and kisses.
She's just hugging and kissing everybody.
It was before I met him, so
Before she met me, you hear what she was up to. My handle is Ujero, OUJEROO. My Instagram is pretty boring unless I'm traveling. If I'm traveling, you're gonna see 1,000 stories. If not, I'm gonna be commenting on current events. Random stuff.
But he's always traveling, so that's that disclaimer.
And you're a travelpreneur as well, right? So you host trips and stuff like that.
Yes, so I can also
find out about that.
Follow the Black World Travelers on Instagram and on Facebook, Black World Travelers, and follow the upcoming mobile application for all to use, Travel World. Follow it all. Connect, stay connected, stay up to date, see what we have going on.
Yeah.
We're releasing our 2022, 2023 trips soon. Some of those trips will include Peru. It's going to be Peru is going to be a wild, adventurous trip. We're going to be flying places. We're going to be driving places. We're going to be hiking places. We got the ZZB as well, which has been planned, but we couldn't get it done. And what that is Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Botswana, actually my favorite African country. Zambia is. We got Cartagena plan. We got Running with the Bulls for the Braves plan.
Pamplona.
The thing about Pamplona, Spain, and Running with of the Bulls is that I had my top 3 best steak there. So even if you're not trying to run with the Bulls, it's an all-day party, and the food is amazing, and it's a nice turnout.
Yeah.
So we got that releasing soon. We got our Bali group trip releasing soon for 2022. So we're going to be pretty busy, and we're getting married in Bali. So that's how much we love Bali.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Where's the next couples trip, like for y'all two?
So we want the next couples trip to still be Caymans. However, we think.
Wait. No, your trip.
Just y'all two.
We can talk about the Caymans group trip offline, but your next trip.
We're going to. Well, I'm joining the Ghana trip, so I'll be there. So we'll be a couple there.
I'm being Corona. They're gonna make me a chief in Ghana in December.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. But after that, we don't know.
I think she's planning South Africa, but it's a family trip. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I guess right now we'll be together on, Ghana, and we'll be together coupling through Cape Town and Johannesburg into January.
So.
That's so
nice.
We do want to explore the French islands like Martinique, Guadeloupe. So maybe one of those.
Yeah.
Well, let us know when you're trying to do that.
We would love that. We want to travel with other couples because it's so fun. Like I think a couples trip would be so cool. So we'll do
so that would be definitely.
Yeah, we got a wedding to crash in Morocco.
Morocco, yeah, right. So that'll definitely be. I mean, we'll swing through there.
Come on and crash.
That'll be right.
I mean, he's blocked the guest list, but maybe if you're nice enough, you can open it back.
We're coming. Funny enough, Cliff already said, he was like, what do you think about crashing? I feel great about crashing.
You're going to see me. How are you in here? I know the manager.
We'll just be a So, maybe
I told the manager I organize group trips. I want to do a walkthrough.
She'll love you. She'll love you.
She'll love it. Well, thank you both for really. Go ahead.
Is the person black?
Mm-hmm. Black owned. The only black woman to own a hotel in all of Morocco.
I think I know, like the chef there. I think I know her. I actually know her.
Okay.
Well, you might look. See you there.
That'll be an easy crash for you.
If you find a crash between now and then, we can crash, or not.
Hey,
we're crashing.
I say you come.
We have it on footage, so thanks.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you both for doing this. This was definitely an amazing experience. And with that said,
show you what a true love's about. If it's real love that you want.